This is going to be a quick follow-up to the video I just did where I basically reviewed the Terra breeding boxes. I had a YouTuber, Johanan Micaiah, or Micaiah, I apologize if I pronounce your name wrong, but asked if I could show how I go about covering up the vents on the top. I kind of just glossed over that. Keep in mind, this could be very, very quick. You could just take some contact paper, just cut it out and use an X-Acto knife to go over it. I use scissors, so there's a couple ways to go about it. But the way I did it is I basically made a little template that fits right in here. And because this box is symmetrical, it'll fit right in here. And it'll also fit in that side. And then I went over the contact paper, and this roll, I believe, was like $4.70 at Walmart. And with the contact paper made on the back of it, you can see that they've got the lines that make it very, very easy. And trace my pattern out. You can use a ruler to get your straight lines. Then, using the scissors, right in here, you can back up a little bit, Ron, snipped it out and got this. So it takes time for people that don't really care about how much time it takes. I'm kind of, for lack of a better term, anal retentive as far as covering up everything, so I want it to look perfect. But you could very easily just cut two big strips right here and two little strips. It would look probably just as well. I just kind of do it the hard way. So this does take a little bit of time. And then I just put rip the contact paper backing off without trying to rip the contact paper because it is a little fragile. Line it up, and hopefully I get this first try because this can be a big pain in the patootie. It's easier to start with one side. There we go. That's all there is to it. And then basically what I will do is use either a credit card or these handy dandy little dividers that came with this plastic case, but just smooth it out using this. And what will happen is when you open it up, you'll see if you have any spots that it kind of sticks like there and there. And I just took a little X-Acto knife and cleaned them all up. But it's very, very simple. I do it the long way because I wanted it to look all nice and perfect. You don't have to do it that way. And then I would go ahead, cut this one out over here and do the same thing. It'll flip over and go on this side. And the good thing is when you're cutting the pieces out, the little pieces that tend to come out of here are great for blocking off these middle three vents if you want to keep a little more humidity in it. I wouldn't block them all off, but I will say there's quite a bit of ventilation here. So blocking off just these middle ones allow four pretty good sized ones here. As I flip it completely around, four over here and four over here, which I think is a good, enough ventilation for these. And I did, before I put anything into them, did a little experiment where I moistened the substrate in one, I put a water cup in one, and I left the top off. And I did the same thing with, left the vents not covered. I did the same thing with another one and covered up the vents and could kind of by that judge how quickly the water would evaporate. And the ones I just covered up the top, you were getting a little bit of evaporation, but not nearly as much as you did when they didn't have the top off. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a rehousing in a minute to make this so it's not just a video about putting plastic over the top of vents. But there you go, very, very simple. And again, I kind of do it the long way and take my time with it. But somebody in a hurry that doesn't want to spend so much time doing this could easily just cut some strips out, stick them on here, and be done with it. This is going to be a rehousing video for my Phimictopus cautus violet. We actually just did another one, so I'll pick out the best one out of the two. The other one I believe is probably a male. This one's a little bit smaller, even though they've been getting fed at the same time. So I'm suspecting possibly a female, but we'll see. I haven't been able to get a good molt out of either of them to sex it. So what we're going to do here is we're getting them out of this enclosure. I bought a couple of these a while ago. Anybody that wants to see the review, it's under European style enclosures. I love these smaller ones are about half this size, but these bigger ones I'm not quite liking. Part of the problem is they're very flimsy, so when you push on the bottom by accident, everything looks like a little mini earthquake in there, which I'm sure the spiders actually love. And then the tops haven't been particularly secure. I mean, if you look right now, I'm just barely rubbing my fingers over this, and the top's coming right up, so I've had to keep things stacked on them. So we're getting them out of here into an Terra breeding box, which will give them a little more floor space, a little more privacy with the darker lid. And hopefully it'll take a couple molts before they outgrow one of these, but I'm taking these out of circulation. I'll see if I can find something else I can put in them, but I don't even think I could put really scorpions in them because they're so shallow. The scorpions should be able to just push themselves right out of it. So let me see if I can get this one cupped. There's this cup. See if I can get out in the open. land. There's like no room to work in here. No, I'll go backwards. We're just gonna be good. There we go. Not good. All right, so maybe the first one will be the one we use because this has been a pain in the buttocks. There we go. I want to reuse this cork bark. I'll try to get it off the cork bark. Now, what I'm doing here for people, I just had talked to somebody who was afraid to do maintenance on their tarantula because it was a little bit nasty. And this is a species that will literally fly right across the enclosure to find prey. So when you have to do maintenance and you want to make sure they can't attack you, just dropping a cup over top is a great way to go. Now, if I want to go and take boluses out, change the water dish, I can do so without having to worry about getting bit. I'm going to carry this over here and reuse it. I will say both these two, the one I just rehoused and this one, have not used a burrow in quite a bit. These guys have been much bolder than some of my other Phormictopus species. Canceritis or Cancerides tend to be the ones that are the most fold because right off the bat, they get to be about 3 inches or so. They've been hanging out right out in the open. A couple of my other Phormictopus species, which I'll be doing videos on later this month, are actually still in their burrows, still hiding when they molt. So it's interesting to see the different personalities even within the same genus. All right, there we go. See if this one goes well. The last one, they did not want to get out. Whoops. How'd you turn it off on purpose? There we go. I'll take this from Rome, try to get a good picture of it. Shove it on there as well.
It's on.
There we go. Phormictopus cautus violet. There we go. This one's a bit more bronze. The other one's showing a lot more purples in the femurs. I'm guessing this one's a female, but again, I'm just guessing by the fact the other one's growing much larger, even though they're fed the same time, same frequency, same amount. The other one looks like it's probably getting close to a molt pretty soon. And then we have this one that's a little bit smaller, a little more bronze in the carapace area, less purple on the femurs. So we'll see. I got to get a good molt out of these guys to sex them properly. But there we go. I'm going to go ahead and put the top on it. So again, this is going to be a nice little enclosure for this one. Give it a little extra room to grow and a little extra depth of substrate. And every time I pick it up, there won't be a small earthquake.